press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, today we are discussing this is atomic structure. Part 15. One concept that we discussed yesterday was with respect to the differences in the number of protons, electrons or neutrons in the nucleus. So we classified different species. Two more species that I asked you to do yesterday was isospheres, and then there were isodiaphers. Hope all of you have found out what exactly isospheres and isodiaphers are. Isospheres are the molecules or chemical species with same number of electrons and same number of atoms. Same number of electrons and same number of atoms. Suppose we have HCl and we have F2. What is the number of atoms in HCl? 2. And what is the number of atoms in F2? That's also 2. What about the number of electrons? Let us see. In HCl, hydrogen has 1 electron and chlorine has how many electrons? 17, that is total 18. Each fluorine has 9 electrons and there are 2 fluorines, so that makes it also 18. So these two chemical species are isospheres. Let's have a look on one more. It's not necessary that atoms should be same. Atoms can be different, but the number of atoms should be same and the number of electrons should also be same. Suppose children, if I have CO2 and N2O, they definitely have got same number of atoms. This has got number of atoms 3, this also has number of atoms 3. Let us see the number of electrons. Carbon has 6 electrons. Each oxygen has 8. There are 2 oxygens, that makes it 16. 16 plus 6 makes it 22 electrons. Let us look on the nitrogen. 2 nitrogens will be 14 plus 1 oxygen will be 8. So 14 plus 6 equals to 20 plus 2, 22. So definitely this also is a chemical species. These two also fall in the category of what? Isospheres. So we have discussed it from yesterday. What? Isotopes, isobars, isotones. Then we discussed isoelectronic species. Then I told you what isospheres means. Then you have got one more chemical species differences or similarities we can find out in isodiaphers, right? One more small concept with respect to this atomic structure was left out was the concept of nodes. So last time I told you that the shapes of s orbital is spherical, p is dumbbell and d is double dumbbell. These regions where electrons are present, this region where electron is present, these regions are called as lobes. Lobes are the regions of high electron density. If you have done chemical bonding very properly, there you might have done the concept of wave functions. The amplitudes, the square of wave function, which is amplitude, which is given by psi a square plus psi b square plus 2 psi a psi b. If you have done the equations very carefully there. We have the region in the orbital where electron density is 0. Technically, according to Bohr's model, you cannot find out any region in an atom which will be devoid of electrons. Even at the infinite distance, there are chances of finding the electron, and even extremely close to the nucleus, there are chances of finding the electron, because electron behaves as a wave. One of the important deductions that we got so far is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle rejects the proper trajectories of electrons. So you cannot say that electron is following a particular path, because as we mentioned Heisenberg's uncertainty principle last time, it's impossible simultaneously to determine the position and momentum of a moving subject. For macroscopic things, it was clear to us the significance is very less, but for microscopic things, the significance is huge. Correct. So there are lobes and there are nodes. What are nodes? Nodes are the regions where electron density is no or low. So where there is no or low electron density, and the planes passing through the nodes are called as nodal planes. Let me be brief here. There are, in an atom, the total number of nodes equals to n minus 1. In any subshell or n orbital, if you want to find out the number of nodes, it's equal to n minus 1, where n equals to principal quantum number. There are two types of nodes which are available to us. So there are two types of nodes. We have radial nodes and we have angular nodes. In an atom, the number of radial nodes equals to L. Angular nodes are determined by L. The total number of angular nodes are dependent on L, because L is the azimuthal quantum number, and azimuthal quantum number will give you what? Shape of subshell, and shape of subshell will determine whether that particular orbital will be subtending what angle with the, usually S will not have any angle with the nucleus, right? And P and D and F will have. So there is higher possibility of angular nodes in P, D, F orbital, so on and so forth. And the nodes which are present in spherical orbitals are usually what nodes? Radial nodes. So angular nodes are represented by L, and we have one more nodes left out, they are called as radial nodes. Total number of nodes is n minus 1, out of which angular will be L. The remaining nodes are radial, and those will be n minus L minus 1. Keep it in mind. So the number of radial nodes equals to n minus L minus 1. Number of angular nodes equals to L, and the total number of nodes equals to n minus 1, where L is the azimuthal quantum number and n is principal quantum number. So you can find out the nodes respectively. Suppose if we are asked to find out the number of nodes in 3s subshell or 3s orbital, find out the number of nodes. Very simple. Number of nodes equals to n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1. So total number of nodes will be 2. How many will be angular? What is angular node represented by L? Tell me for S, what is L value? 0. That means the number of angular nodes will be 0. So total number of nodes are 2, in which there is no angular node. So we will have only 2 nodes, and both will be what nodes? Radial nodes. Want to see that? Have a look. This is nucleus. 1s, 2s, 3s. So here electron densities are present. Here also electron densities are present. Here also electron densities are present. Between 1s and 2s, there is a region where electron density is least existing. This is node. And here, this is also node. So how many nodes you got? What exactly are nodes? Regions where electron density is minimum. And Bohr's model clears it out to us. What? Because their electron density is not present, because angular momentum of the electron in these regions is not integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Because we learned electrons can exist in those shells only wherein the angular momentum will be integral multiple of h by 2 pi value. So easily you can find out the nodes. Suppose children, if we are given, say we have been given 2p, find out the total number of nodes in 2p. Naturally total number of nodes is n minus 1, that will be 2 minus 1, that will be 1. So what is L value here? It is 1, because P, for P what is L value? 1. That means L is 1. So there is only one node, which is what node? Angular node. What is the number of radial nodes? 0. Did you understand it or not? So in order to find out nodes in any atom, it's n minus 1. In any orbital, n minus 1, out of which L will be the number of angular nodes, and L will be the number of angular nodes, and the radial nodes will be n minus L minus 1 respectively. Clear or not, children? Excellent. So let us move in very important applications of these quantum numbers on the whole now in the chapter. So whatever the topics we have learned in atomic structure, we will make use of all the concepts in order to solve questions now. Clear, children? So now we will be having applications of these concepts, and on the basis of that we will see how to apply those and how to physically get the answers for questions using those concepts. Clear or not? Let us start, children. We have one question here. Which of the following sets of quantum numbers is allowable? So question number 1, which of the following set of quantum numbers is allowable? Means which of the following quantum numbers is possible? So we have been given options. I will write N, L, M and S. So here I will mention N, this is L, this is M and this is S. So for all the 4. It is 2, 1, 0 plus half, 2, 1, 0 plus half. Second option is 2, 2 minus 1 minus half, 2, 2 minus 1 minus half. Third one is 2 minus 2 1 plus half, 2 minus 2 1 plus half, and option fourth is 2 1 0 0, 2 1 0 0. Question which is asked to us, children, is which of the following set of quantum numbers is allowable? Now if you look on these options, I have already discussed of the fact that N more than L, more than or equal to M. This is the basic thing that you have to keep in mind. In the present case, children, what is N value here? 2. When N value is 2, is it possible for L to be 1? Yes. When L is 1, M can be 0, S can be plus half. Correct or not? So children, because when N is 2, what is L value? 0, 1. So when L is 0, it is possible. When L is 1, it is possible. So these two are definitely possible. Now when L is 1, M can be 0, because M values are minus 1, 0, plus 1. So it is possible for it to be 0, yes or no? And electron will be rotating with spin plus half. Correct or not? So this is definitely allowable. This is allowed. Question 2. N value is 2. What is L also? 2. So N should be greater than L. But here N equals to L. This is not allowed. Option 2 not allowed. Third one. N is 2. Can L be minus 2? Obviously not. Because when N is 2, L can be 0, 1. There is no possibility of minus 2 existing. This is not allowed. When N is 2, L is 1. We have proved it a while earlier. Correct or not? But when L is 1, can M be 0? Yes, indeed. So these three are matching up. But can spin of the electron be 0? No. It will have one of the two spin with respect to chosen axis. That's plus half or minus half. So this is also not allowed. So the correct option will be option A. That is 2, 1, 0 and plus half. And if you are asked, which orbital is it? It's obviously 2p. One of the orbitals of P subshell. That is 2p. And how many electrons we are talking about? Only 1, because the spin given to you is plus half. Is it clear or not? Very good. Question next. Which shape is associated with the orbital designed by, or which shape is associated with the orbital designated by? Now question number 2 is, which shape is represented by? What are the quantum numbers? N equals to 2 and L equals to 1. So the option is given to you are spherical. Option 2 is dumbbell. Option 3 is double dumbbell. And option 4, which is given to us, is pyramidal. Now when we look on the quantum numbers, we have learned that the pyramidal shape here does not come into play, so this will be off, eliminated off, so this is odd one out, I have taken it out. Now there are three possibilities, spherical, dumbbell and double dumbbell. If it is spherical, it should be S, dumbbell it should be P, and double dumbbell it should be D. Now we will see what quantum numbers are given. What is n value given? 2, right? And what is L value given? 1. When L value is 1, we are talking about which subshell? P. So we are talking about 2P. So what is the shape of P? A while earlier also I told you, in my classes also I have told you, what is the shape of P? Dumbbell. So correct option will be option 2. So with the help of quantum numbers, you can find out the shape of the orbital as well. And we have learnt it. These are the different properties of systems which are given by quantum numbers. Very good. Question number 3 is, question number 3. Isotone and isotone of germanium 3276. Options are given to you. We have to find out isotone of germanium, atomic number 32 and mass number 76. Options are germanium 3277. Second one is arsenic 3377. Third one is silurium Se 3477. And fourth one given to you is silurium 3478. These are 4 chemical species given to you. These are 4 molecules or atoms given to you, elements given to you. Germanium, arsenic, silurium. Atomic number 32, 33, 34, 34. And then you got 77, 77, 77 and 78. Options are A, 1 and 2. Second option is 2 and 3. Third option is 2 and 4. And fourth option is 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4. So these are the 4 species given to you. You have to find out the isotone of germanium 7632 out of these, right? Now let us come here and understand it clearly. Tell me children, what are isotones? Isotones are the atoms of different elements with different atomic number and different mass number. But what is same? Number of neutrons. Yesterday we have done it. So number of neutrons should be same. First of all, we will calculate the number of neutrons in the given question, that is germanium. So we have been given germanium, atomic number is 32 and mass number is what? Given to you 76. Correct or not? We know atomic number is number of protons. So what is mass number equal to? Mass number equals to atomic number, that is Z, plus number of neutrons. So let us see number of neutrons here. It will be A, that is 76 minus 32. That makes it 4. Clear or not? So 7, 6, 2, 4, 7, 3, 4. So the number of neutrons are how many? 44. Now any of these where the number of neutrons will be 44 will be our correct option. Let us see the first one. What is the first one given? Germanium 7732. So number of neutrons in germanium 7732. Number of neutrons will be A. Number of neutrons will be A minus Z. What is A? 77 minus 32. What does it make it? 5, 4. It comes 45. But what is the given number of neutrons for us? 44. It is coming 45. So this first one is not the isotone of germanium. So wherever first one is present, that option is eliminated. So this option has first one eliminated. This option does not have first one. This also does not have first one. This. So this one, according to first solution, has been eliminated off. Because first one cannot be isotone, because number of neutrons should be same. Now let us see the second one, children. 77 minus 33. So 7 minus 3, or number of neutrons in the second case. It will be 77 minus 33, right or not? 7, 3, 4, 4, 44. Indeed, second one is the isotone of what? Germanium. Third one, 77, 34, 7 minus 4. Number of neutrons in third one, 77 minus 34, 7, 4, that makes it 3, 7, 3, that makes it 4. So this also, third one also is not the correct option for us. So this contains third, this also contains third, but third is not the isotone of germanium. So 2 is eliminated and 4 is also eliminated. So correct option will be definitely option 3. Let us see the fourth one now. What is it? Number of neutrons will be 78 minus 34. 8, 4, 4, 7, 3, 4, 44. So there are only 2 species where it comes 44. Which one? 2 and 4. So correct option will be 2 and 4. So option 3 will be correct option. Am I clear? So what are we finding out? Isotones. And what are isotones, children? These are the atoms of different elements with same number of neutrons but different atomic number and different mass number. So number of neutrons are same, that means number of protons are differing, that's why their atomic mass is different. Clear or not? Excellent. Keep thinking about these questions very properly. These are applications of the things that we have learned so far, children. Correct. Let us see the next question. The transition of electrons in hydrogen atom that will emit maximum energy. The transition of electron in hydrogen atom. Question number 4. The transition of electrons that emits in hydrogen atom that emits maximum energy. So options are N3 to N2, option 2 N4 to N3, option 3 N5 to N4, option B, option C, and option D N6 to N5. Good. Now we have to find out the transition in the hydrogen atom where maximum energy will be emitted. Naturally, maximum energy will be emitted when the electron is coming from higher energy level to the ground state, because in hydrogen atom we know that if we are more close to the ground state of hydrogen, that's N1, the emission of radiation will be in ultraviolet zone. We have learnt it in line spectrum of hydrogen in Lyman series, or Lyman series is lying in which zone? Ultraviolet zone. So the difference everywhere is only 1. But the ground state electronic structure is present here, N2. You are coming more close to nucleus when you are losing electron from energy level 3 to 2. So you are more close to nucleus. When you are more close to nucleus, the energy that is present in an electron close to nucleus is less, but its stability will be more. Now we can even do it. If you want to find out the energy where it will be emitted most will be delta E, that will be N3 to N2, E3 minus E2. So it will be minus 13.6 divided by 9 plus 13.6 divided by 4. What will be the value here? Minus 13.6 divided by 16 plus 13.6 divided by 9. Here minus 13.6 divided by 25 plus 13.6 divided by 16. and here it will be minus 13.6 divided by 36 plus minus 13.6 divided by 25. Hope you are understanding what I am doing here. Because children, energy delta E equals to E2 minus E1. So what is E2? Energy of the second shell. So minus 13.6 into Z for hydrogen is 1 divided by N square, that is 4, minus of minus plus, that is 13.6. This is basic thing. And we learnt in hydrogen spectrum, what was that? It was when we are moving from Lyman series to Balmer to bracket to P fund and so on and so forth. What is happening to frequency? It keeps on decreasing. It means when electron is coming to second energy level and electron is coming to third energy level, the energy will keep on decreasing. The emission of energy will keep on decreasing. And even when you solve this question, you will be able to find it out. Not only this is the way of solving the question. There is one more way. What is that, children? We can find out wave number. Wave number equals to RH Z square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. So once you find out wave number here, you can find, with respect to wave number, you can find out inverse of that will be wavelength. That is 1 by lambda. So you can find out lambda from this. Whichever of these four options will have minimum lambda, that will have maximum energy, because energy and wavelength are inversely proportional, or energy and wave number are directly proportional. Find out wave number. Whichever of these four transitions will have the most wave number, that will be most energetic photon. That's very simple. So this is second way of solving the question. This is first way of solving the question. There are many ways in which you can solve these questions. Clear? Or did you get it or not? So if you solve it out, you will easily find out transition which is much closer to the nucleus will be highly energetic. So correct option will be option A. Even you can solve it out and see it, children. Am I clear? Excellent. Let's go next question. Right. Question is, which of the following, I'll just directly say this question because this is a theoretical question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of Planck's quantum theory of radiation? Planck's quantum theory of radiation. 1. Radiations are associated with energy. We already know it. Energy associated with radiation is given in terms of small discrete quantities, and energy of each discrete quantity equals to h nu. This is correct. Our question is, which of the following is not in according to Planck's theory? B. Magnitude of energy associated with quantum is equal to h nu. Absolutely right. E equals to h nu. Third one. Radiation energy is neither emitted nor absorbed continuously. Right. So radiations are not absorbed continuously, rather in the form of small bundles and packets. In light, that's called as photon. In light, that is photon. And in other radiations, we call that as quantum. And it is plural form, I said, is quanta. Fourth one, a body can emit less or more than a quantum of energy. Wrong. A body can always emit energy in terms of its discrete frequencies. That is discrete energies. So wrong option will be option 4. Very good. Question number next. So this was question number 5. So now we have question number 6. What's it asking you? Which out of the following configuration is incorrect? Which electronic configuration is incorrect? So options A, B, C, D. So we have electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz0. Next one is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2py1 and 2pz0. Third one is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. 2pz1, and fourth option is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5 and 4s1. 3p5, then 3p6, 3d5 and 4s1. Question is which electronic configuration is incorrect, which is not right. Now have a look here. First one is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2, 2pz1. This violates what principle? Hund's rule. Because what does Hund's rule say? Pairing will not take place unless all the available orbitals are singly packed. Here electronic configuration should be 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py1 and 2pz1. But it is opposed to that of Hund's rule. It has paired up electron in y and x, which are degenerate orbitals without giving any electron to z. So this is wrong. Wrong is right for this question, right? Because we have to find out incorrect. So incorrect, that is wrong electronic configuration is the right option. So this will be the right option. Second one, 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, y1, z1. It is perfectly according to Hund's rule. 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, y1, z1 according to Hund's rule, definitely. Then 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. This I already told you. This is the exceptional electronic configuration of chromium, where D becomes more stable than S. So electron from S is shifted to D. Reason? Energy difference. The energy difference between D and S, which D? 3D and 4S is very less. So electron can easily move from S to D. This is electronic configuration of chromium. And remember, this will be the ground state electronic configuration, and which is most stable electronic configuration of a particular element. So the correct option will be option 1. Am I clear with the thought here? Very good. So next question. Direct question only. So this is question number 7. Bohr's model of atom is not in agreement with, very simple, Bohr's model of an atom is not in agreement with. Bohr's model tells you what? There are precise paths in which electrons are rotating, but Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, as we learnt, it does not allow a fixed trajectory for an electron. So this is opposite to the statement of what? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. We have options. Line spectra of hydrogen atom, indeed it is in accordance to that. Second, Pauli's principle, it doesn't violate that. Third, Planck's theory, definitely not. And Heisenberg's principle is the correct option. Very good. So this was the next question 7. Now let us see question number next, children. Now, question number 8. It is asking you, if the energy of electron in hydrogen atom is given by expression, energy of electron in hydrogen atom, so we are talking about which atom? Hydrogen atom. Energy is given by the expression minus 1312 divided by n square kilojoules. Okay, in terms of kilojoules, energy is minus 13.12, and in terms of electron volts, it is 13.6 electron volts. Okay, good. Kilojoules per mole, kilojoules per mole. According to this expression, it is given to you. Then the energy required to excite the electron from ground state to second orbit. Then the energy required to excite the electron from ground state to second orbit. Then energy needed for shifting the electron from ground state to second orbit will be, options are 328 kilojoules, option B 656 kilojoules, option C 984 kilojoules, and option D 1312 kilojoules. Naturally, the amount of energy required is minus. You know why we are using the negative sign of the energy there. So if I have energy equals to minus 1312 divided by n square of that particular shell, it is given by expression 1312. So this will not be the correct option for us. It will be eliminated because this much of energy will not be required, because energy itself expression is given by 131.12. Anyway, we can solve it out. I am shifting electron from, in hydrogen atom, from ground state to second orbit. So I am sending it from first shell to second shell. So for hydrogen's energy, in the ground state it is given by minus 1312. So energy required for excitation from E1 to E2 will be delta E, that is E2 minus E1. So energy difference delta E will be equal to what? Energy state 2 minus energy state 1. So we know energy state here given is 13.12, so it will be minus 13.12 divided by 4 minus of minus 13.12 divided by 1. It's sorry, not 13.12, it is 1312. Here also 1312 by 1. Clear? Solve it out, children. So you will get here 4 3 is 12. Right or not? It will be 4 3 is 12. It will be 4 to 8. Or correct or not? It becomes 32. It will be 4 8s are 32. So you got minus 328 minus of minus plus 1312 kilojoules. So that will be equal to, so 28 1312 minus 328. So it will be 4. This will be 8. This will be, or will be 2. It will be almost 984. So correct option will be option C. Now if you are asked the amount, here question is asked amount of energy required for excitation. If you were asked the amount of energy associated with, remember, amount of energy associated with the excited state. So children, amount of energy associated with excited state will be energy of that second shell, that will be minus 1312 divided by 2 square, that is 4. So it will be almost, we got the value 328 kilojoules. So with respect to that particular shell where electron has been excited, it is 328. But energy difference between the two, because already in the first state the energy is given by minus 13.12. In the next state energy difference will be varying. Am I clear? Then the correct option will be 328, and that's also one of the option mentioned to you here, 328. Most of the times you will do it wrong because you will calculate the energy with respect to second orbit. That's not correct. Here the question asked is the amount of energy required for excitation respectively. Am I clear? So the correct option is which one? Option 3 for this question. Very good. Let us see question number 9. Good. Question 9 is, children, simple. Which of the following orbital does not make sense? Which of the following orbital does not make sense? Options are 3D, 2F, 5P, 7S, B, C, D. So which of the following does not make sense? 3D, does it make sense? Is it possible? I would say yes, because when n value is 3, what are the values of L possible? 0, 1, 2. That is SPD. Definitely it is possible. So this makes sense. 2F doesn't make any sense because what is n value here? 2. What is L value? 0 and 1. when n is 2, L value will be 0 and 1, correct or not? So that makes it SP. So in principal quantum number 2, F sub shell is not possible. So 2F doesn't make any sense only at all. So option B is not possible. That means it is the correct option because we are finding out which of the orbital does not make sense. Phi of P, does it make sense? Indeed, yes. N equals to 5. What is the possible value of L? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes it S, P, D. So P is possible. 7S obviously. When N is 7, L will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. L is 0. That makes it 7S. That is definitely possible. So which is not making any sense at all. 2F doesn't make any sense, children. It doesn't make any, it doesn't hold any value itself at all. Because F sub shell in principal quantum number 2 is not possible. F can accommodate how many electrons? 14. You see the second period of periodic table. It contains only 8 elements. Good. Question number next. Which of the following set of quantum numbers is not possible? Question number 10. Which set of quantum numbers is not possible? So I'll write down again N, L, M, S. So you got this one as option A, then B, then C, then D. A is 4, 1, 0 plus half. 4, 1, 0 plus half. Option B is 4, 3 minus half. 4, 3 minus 3 minus half. Option C is 4 minus 1 plus 2. 4 minus 1 plus 2 minus half. And option D is 4, 1, 0 minus half. 4, 1, 0 minus half. These are the options given to us, children. So we got N, 4, 1, 0. So N4, L1 possible? Yes. M0 possible? Yes. S plus half possible? Definitely yes. Question is quantum number is not possible. So basic rule, N more than L more than or equal to M, that you should keep it in mind. Spin quantum number everywhere is possible because spin is plus half or minus half. What is N value here? 4. L 3, M minus 3. Possible or not? Oh yes, because when L is 3, look here, when L is 3, what are the values of M possible? Minus L, throw 0 to plus L. L is 3, it will be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. So plus 1 is possible or not? Minus 3 is possible or not? Definitely minus 3 is possible. N4, can L be minus 1? Obviously not, because when N is 4, L will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So minus 1 possibility is not existing. Okay, if L is minus 1, can M be plus 2? When L itself is not minus 1 possibility, where from M can come? So this C is not possible. That means option C is our correct option. 4P, that's definitely possible. So these three are definitely possible and one is not possible. Keep it in mind, I'm not directly going with the answer. I'm solving your all 4 options with rest. Why other 3 are wrong and why this one is correct. So correct option will be for this one, which one? Option C. It is not possible. Very good. Question next. The possible sub-shells in N equals to 3. Question is, question number 11. If N equals to 3, what are possible sub-shells? Options are SP, SPD, SPDF, and only S. These are the 4 options. What is N value mentioned to you, children? N value is 3. What are the values of L? 0, 1, 2. That means SPD, SPD. So when N value is 3, SPDF is not possible. Only S is not there. S and P, it is there, but not only these 2 are there. There is SPD. All the 3 will be available to you because with principal quantum number 3, all the 3 are available. Clear? Right. Next question. Have a look on these questions very carefully and try to understand how we are solving these questions, right? Now we have question number 12. What's it asking? Two electrons have the following set of quantum numbers. So we have two electrons, technically x and y. Their quantum numbers are 3, 2, minus 2 plus half, 3, 2, minus 2 plus half, then 3, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, minus half. So these two electrons, we have two electrons x and y with these quantum numbers. What is true of the following? So with respect to this, what is true? So first one, energy of x more than energy of y. Option B. Energy of x less than energy of y. Option C. Energy of x equals to energy of y. And option D is none of these is correct option. Read the question. X 3, 2, minus 2 plus half and y is 3, 0, 0 plus half. We have already learned that when you want to find out the energy of any electron in an atom, it is primarily given by two quantum numbers, n and l. First of all, you should find out energy on the basis of n, because above method. So you are using n rule, and if n is same, then you will use n plus l rule. You will use n rule and n plus l rule. So logically, children, we have 3, 2, minus 2 plus half. So what is n value given to you? 3. L value is 2. That makes it 3D. Or because when n is 3, L will be 0, 1, 2. It is SPD. So here we are talking about 3D electron. And here we are talking about 3s electron. Right or not? Because n value is 3. What is L value? 0. So logically we are talking about 3s. Now we have 3s and 3d. Very simple now. Principal quantum number is same. Yes. So what is L value? Here 0. So what is n plus L? And what is n plus L here? N is 3, n is 3. What is L here? 0. What is L here? 1. So that makes it, sorry, L is 2 here, because it is D. So what is n plus? It will be 3. What will be it here? 5. So 3 less than 5. This is for what? Y. This is for what? X. That means energy of X will be more than Y. So energy of X is more than that of Y. Correct option will be option A. Did you get it or not? What's the method I have used for solving it, children? I have used above method for solving it out, because when principal quantum number of the two is same, that, children, technically means that there will be more reaction shown by which one? 3D compared to which one? 3s, and that is logical itself, because the electron is present here in which orbital? D, and it is present in which one? S. Clear with the thought? Everyone? Excellent. Very good. So we can say that energy of X is more than that of Y, and that is one of the important information that quantum numbers provide us. They provide us information with respect to energies. Very good. Next question, children. Right. Now question number 13. Question is, a cricket ball of 0.5 kg. Cricket ball of 0.5 kg moving with a velocity of 100 meters per second. It is moving with a velocity of 100 meters per second. The wavelength associated with its motion. The wavelength associated with its motion. A 1/100 centimeters. B 66 into 10 to the power minus 34 meters. C 1.32 into 10 to the power minus 35 meters. And option D 6.6 into 10 to the power 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 28 meters. Now we have a macroscopic substance moving, a bigger substance moving, and it is having the mass of 0.5 kg moving with the velocity of 100 meters per second. What will be wavelength associated with it? We know it very clearly that wavelength is associated with mass and velocity by the equation lambda equals to h by mv. Which equation is it, children? De Broglie equation. We have to find out wavelength associated with it. Lambda equals to h, Planck's constant, 6.62 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, divided by mass is 0.5 kg, that is 5 into 10 to the power minus 1 kg, into moving with a velocity of 100 meters, that is 10 to the power 2 meters per second. Joule second in terms of kg, meter square and second square will be joule, and this will be cancelling off. The resultant will be meter. Its meter square inverse goes up, it becomes meter, so lambda will be 6.62 divided by 5 into 10 to the power minus 34. 2 and 1, it will be 10 to the power 1, it goes up, becomes minus 1, it becomes 10 to the power minus 35 meters. So lambda will be equal to, so 6.62, it makes it 5 ones 5, 5 3 is 15, it becomes, it will be 5 2, so it will be 1.32 into 10 to the power minus 35 meters will be the wavelength associated with the ball of 0.5 kg moving with the velocity 100 meters per second. So correct option is which one? Option C will be the correct option. So we have used what? De Broglie's equation, and no need to, as I mentioned many times, there is nothing to mark up because we are finding out wavelength associated with the moving subject. Wavelength, velocity and mass for a moving subject, microscopic or macroscopic, is related by de Broglie's equation. So lambda equals to h by mv. So we write this, mv is the product of mass and velocity, that's momentum as well. Right? Did you follow it or not? Very good. Correct. Let us see next question, children. Question is, the number of spherical nodes in 4s orbital is, so this will be our question number 14. Number of spherical nodes in 4s orbital. What do you mean by spherical nodes? They are also called as radial nodes. What they are called as radial nodes. So what are the options? A. So you got 4 infinity 2 3. So 4 infinity 2 3. Now, what is the number of radial nodes associated with any atom? Total number of nodes. Total number of nodes will be n minus 1. That is, what is n value here? 4. 4 minus 1, that will be 3. Total number of nodes will be 3. Out of which L will be what nodes? Angular. What is the L value for S? 0. So there is no angular node. All the nodes will be radial nodes. So the total number of radial nodes associated will be 3. With which orbital? 4s. So with 4s orbital, the total number of radial nodes will be how many? 3. Clear? Am I clear with the statement, children, here? Right? So have a look how we are solving the questions. So we'll keep on solving more and more questions so that this chapter is perfectly done. So theory part of this, the competitive application part, because right in my discussions of previous classes, I have clearly mentioned how do we use the equations at different places. So in any question, there is no need to remember any equation itself at all. Remembering equation can create problems, but if you have understood the equation, exactly you know which question will, in which question, which equation and what type of method will be used. And for every question, I have shown different methods of solving respectively. So we can use multiple solutions for a single question and the answer reached by you will be same. Am I clear with the thought here, children? Thank you. We'll continue.